welcome to this complete army video for the Alpha Legion Chaos Space Marines. So a chance just to step away from our regular battle reports and so on, and to take a bit of a closer look at the models, the list, the loadouts, points, values and so on. It's all going to be here in this video, and so I'd hopefully give you a good overview of this force. You're welcome to copy the list, and you should be able to see the list in the video description below. You're welcome to copy the full list or take elements from it. This video, I want it to be interactive as well, so you can leave your own comments and feedback. If you think the list is good, what would you change, what would you add? Changes in war gear, enhancements, detachments and so on. It's all open for discussion in this video. So as with all the armies on the channel, we try to build them with a good strong theme to represent the faction, but also to win games and to do well. So it's trying to strike a balance between the two. I want to run units that I like, but also try and run, well, I like all the units, but I want those units to also do well on the battlefield. And if there's a unit that's struggling, really try and make it work, and then if it doesn't, then swap it out. I think all these units certainly have potential. But a chance to run through them all, give you the points, values, and the reason why each unit's been chosen. We'll talk about the overall army philosophy and battle plan as well as we go along. This video will connect with a deployment tactics video, so if you want to see this list, how it deploys on the battlefield, because it's one thing to talk about it theoretically, but how does it actually deploy? And then how do you use it from the turns going forwards, turn 1 onwards? Then check out the deployment tactics video for the Alpha Legion. That should be live at the same time as this video here. So the idea is the two go together to complement each other. For the backdrop for this one, we're using Battlemat from GameMat.eu. It's a swamp battlemat. Really nice abandoned world theme, Imperial world that we're playing on. Really suitable for the Alpha Legion, the Chaos Space Marines to fight across. And then we're also using these containers here on the left hand side. These are the Chem-Zone Terrain set, again from GameMat.eu as well. A really good set. That one comes with boxes, barrels, pipes, containers and so on with that set. So check out GameMat.eu for supplies of battlemats, pre-painted terrain. Link for them below. There's also a discount code for 11% off across the store, and they are shipping their mats and terrain worldwide. So Chaos Space Marines, I want them to be aggressive for sure. Perhaps not full-on close combat orientated, especially going for Alpha Legion. It's not really what they're about. I think the main focus for them is like ambush and gaining the initiative, striking first, and perhaps like long distance charges and well orchestrated attacks coming from different directions. Certainly the theme for them is stealth. One way you can do that, which I use here, is using reserves, deep striking in, so ambush and surprise, flanking with units just to catch the opponent unawares. And then even on the board, the theme for these is they're quite hard to find and locate, so some stealthy stuff going on with the Alpha Legion. So I like that theme, and so you'll see a number of units, good number of units ready to match in with that. Having said all of that for the theme, you want your army to do well, so there's going to be some elements here that I hope will perform well on the battlefield. It's also a showcase, so I'm going to give you a closer look at some of the models. We'll do that now at this stage. So I'll just bring up one of the regulars here. So there's a Terminator. Ever since I got into 40k, I've always liked the Alpha Legion colour scheme. I've always liked it. I always thought I'd love to paint an army. I was put off by the turquoise colour, sort of painting, edge highlighting and so on, especially with the intricate armour for the Chaos Space Marines. But then along came contrast paints, and I saw people using the contrast paints to paint Alpha Legion models, and the look was fantastic and quicker. And so that was a big incentive to do this Chaos Space Marine force. So, and glad, no regrets, really glad I went down that route and got myself a full army of these painted up. But it's been a collaborative effort. I've painted a good number of these units, but others have been painted by the Phoenix Lords on the channel. So a chance to shout out some of these. So, for example, I'm just showing you how the colour scheme actually works. Other people have copied it and it works okay. I'll leave a link if I remember, if not you can search on the channel, but there is a full painting tutorial on the channel here for painting Alpha Legion. So if you like the look of this army, then you can use that process, and it applies to all of the Alpha Legion schemed units that you can see, even the vehicles, same process, same paints and so on. So you can follow that along, and that'll guide you through a pretty effective and quick enough way for painting Alpha Legion, using mostly contrast paints. So others that have copied that, and it seems to have worked all right for them. Chris Kamiscus, big shout out to him. So the Phoenix Swords, we did a collaboration project working together, and Phoenix Sword supporters chipped in on units. Some units were sent to me to paint up, others they actually got themselves built and then painted, such as this one here. So Chris Kamiscus, big shout out to him, built and painted this model following the same tutorial, and it matches in well with the army. I just got the model and then just based it just to match in with the rest of the force. But massive shout out to Chris. Lord Kamiscus, we've called the Lord Discordant, it's appropriate. He also donated a model very kindly, which is the second Chaos Lord across here. So again, big shout out to Chris. And you must forgive me if I forget some of the people here. Nate Miller donated and painted, I believe, some of these Havocs. So massive thanks to him. Michael Fryer donated a box of Terminators, which I then built and painted up, so big shout out to him as well, and big thanks to him for his support. And even Mike, one of the regulars players on the channel, donated, I think it was the Cultists, he chipped in for those as well. No, Legionaries he used, which I've painted up as Chaos Chosen. Mike chipped in with those. So a joint community project here, which really helped accelerate the army. Got it done within a year, and then it's been great to see them taking part in games. One of the newer channels on the army, but I'm really happy to have Alpha Legion featuring properly on the channel. So you can join us at Phoenix Sword level. It's the top level of support. You can join us for collaborative projects. We have the WhatsApp group and the chat that goes on at tournament events. We get to meet up, and you can meet up players from around the world. And Phoenix Swords are linking up with each other for games independently and so on as well. So it's the top level of support and the most interactive part of the community. So you can join us on membership, and you're welcome to join us at Phoenix Sword level. There is that option, or there's the mid-tier, which is the Autarchs, that's available as well. So for 10th edition, and I've said this pretty much in all the videos, you've got to take control of the middle ground. So that you've got a home objective, the opponent has an objective, and then usually there's 3 objectives in no man's land. So it's the quick control, the quick grab, the ability to hold on to them, perform actions on them for secondaries and so on. If you do that, you can score a nice high amount of points. You'll deprive the opponent of points, and then usually you can go on to win the game. So bear that in mind as we go through the list here. I want some units to hold at the back, that's fine. But I also want a sizable chunk of the army to fight for the middle ground, both for shooting and close combat. And out of all the detachments, I'm still a big fan. I've stuck with pack-bound zealots. I'm not going to go through all of the rules here, but there's some great stratagems. Some of the enhancements are okay. The main reason is the marks of chaos. So you give each of your units a different mark. Khorne gives you lethal hits on 5+. If you pass your Dark Pact, Tzeentch is 5 for criticals. Chaos Undivided, which most of my army is, will give you reroll hit rolls of 1, and that's hit rolls for shooting and close combat. It just makes things a bit more reliable. Very welcome indeed. Then you'll also get things like sustained hits of 1. If it's a Nurgle unit, it's sustained hits on 5s. That's really useful for this list, and we'll talk about that as we go along. And I'm not going for the rest, but that's just some little enhancements there that come through with the marks, and you can, depending on what role you want each unit to do, you can pick your marks. It's nice and flexible, some great buffs going on. And then some of the stratagems are really good. Profane Zeal, for example, Chaos Undivided unit for 1 CP. Until the end of the phase, each time model unit makes an attack, that's for shooting or close combat, you can reroll the wound roll. Rerolling wounds are super powerful, so there's some brilliant stratagems. Skin Shift I like as well. If it's a Tzeentch unit, you can restore 3 wounds and restore a lost model as well. I usually put that on the Terminators that take the mark of Tzeentch, just to start restoring whole models. Really good value, again just for a CP. You can upgrade characters with Eye of the Gods, another really good one as well. And then one of the main ones, Festering Miasma. For Nurgle units, you can make them disappear. It gives you can't shoot at a target if it's more than 18 inches away, so you can make stealthy units at the back of your line. It's harder if not they cannot be shot at as an option with Festering Miasma. And again, it fits in, I think, quite well with the Alpha Legion theme. So I'm looking for control of the middle ground. I want an army that's going to move out, grab and take the central objectives, and to do so with the initiatives, striking first, striking from long distance, of shooting and close combat, and then an army that's difficult to pin down, hard to know where it's coming from. So all those things in mind, it's a dynamic, good fun way to play. I really do enjoy using the Alpha Legion with that style in mind. So we'll start going through the units here. I guess HQ choices first of all. We'll go to one of the controversial choices, and again you can leave your own comments and feedback on the choices that have been made. Lord Discordant, fantastic model. It has struggled. Games Workshop have adjusted the rules to make it better. It's better in close combat. The Impaler Chainglaive now, it's a lance weapon, 5 attack, 16 2s. It's got an extra attack, higher strength, now strength 8, AP -3, and damage 3. So it's a much better weapon. You get the extra attacks of the bladed limbs, 2 damage, strength 6, AP -1, 4 attacks of those. Plenty of attacks coming from that thing. It's a bit odd though, it counts as, it's not even a walker, it's mounted. So one of the downsides for it is that you can't do tank shock, which is annoying for wounds coming through. I take the Bow Flamer. It's got a 2-up base save, a 4+ invulnerable save now with the recent adjustment. It's got OC of 4, so it's quite a handy unit. Toughness of 9, 10 wounds, and then a 14-inch move. It is swift enough across the battlefield. But I really have struggled with that unit, trying to get him to sit somewhere in the army and to do well. If you don't get him stuck in and hold him off, then he misses out. If you're too aggressive with him, the opponent will bring him down. It's not. If enough pressure is applied, he'll be destroyed. So you can't attach to anything. So that's the one I'm working on. I really want him to do well, because as I said at the start, I've chosen units I like. I really want him to do well, but he's just trying to find the best role for him at the moment, which I'm sure is there in the force, but just trying to find out where he'll settle in the list. Currently running him as Chaos Undivided for the reroll 1s. Very useful for close combat to get those precious attacks to make sure that they hit, but open to suggestions how to use him, what mark to take, and tactics for him. Lord Discordant and Lord Kamiscus, as he's been called, he comes in at 160 points. So I think I have the spare points, and you can check the finalised list in the comment section below, but enough to give him Talisman of Burning Blood. That's if I go Khorne on him. Khorne's quite good. You can give him lethal hits on 5+. It's alright. And then if you give him this upgrade, add 1 to the attacks and strength characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons, so he goes up to strength 9. And an extra attack, which is great, 6 attacks. Each time the bearer's unit makes a dark pact does not fail, leadership test, roll 1d3 until the end of the phase, add the results to strength attack, so you could get up to 3 extra attacks, an extra 3 strength as well, taking him to strength 11. So it's not bad. Khorne is pretty good. This is that option to think about with him. It's close combat, but timing it right, and he can strike from distance because he's got a 14-inch, a really good move with the Lord Discordant. So he's in, searching for a good role to play in the list. Whilst we're going through these, I'm taking a Warpsmith. Nice and cheap, 70 points, no upgrades. I'd usually give him the mark of Nurgle, so I can make him disappear with Festering Miasma. Hardly ever have to do that. If he's within range of a vehicle in range 3, he gets Lone Operative anyway. And then I take him just for helping the Landraider that you can see there at the back. He will give that, you can bless it and give it +1 to the hit rolls. Fantastic for all those laser cannons, bumping up to 2s to hit, and he can restore D3 wounds as well. So he hangs around with the Landraider is the idea. He's useful enough. He can fight well enough in close combat with the forge weapon. Anti-vehicle 4+, strength 6, -2, 2 damage. He's got a couple of weapons there for shooting. And if the vehicle's destroyed, he gets more attacks. No, that's a Space Marine option. Yeah. No, what he does instead is engage enemy spirits, or engage machine spirits, end of movement phase. Select a vehicle within 12. You must take a battle shock test. Yeah, select enemy vehicle. It's quite a tame rule, but it's mainly for the blessing. +1 to hit rolls. Not just for Landraider, it could be across there against with the Venomcrawlers. And then the restoring of wounds. Very, very useful indeed. He's also got grenades. You can chuck grenades, which is a useful stratagem for sure. And then usually you'll see him hanging around at the back, hanging around with the Landraider, performing actions as well as another option with the Warpsmith. Whilst we're talking about the Warpsmith, we may as well cover the Landraider. So I try and use the Landraider in a stealthy kind of style. So this is one that's going to operate at the back, reliant mostly on firepower. So with the Landraider, you've got your 16 wounds, toughness 12, 2 up base save. It's a very, very tough unit. You get the las cannons, the soul shatter las cannons. You get 2 of them, so it's 2 shots times 2. So you get 4 shots, range 48. 3s to hit if he's blessed. 2s, strength 12 -3, d6 +1 damage. Dangerous enough for sure. It does have the assault ramp, so if there are units inside, you can move the Landraider, disembark, and still charge. So yes, that's an option. You could use the unit like as a counter charge type unit, where your opponent's perhaps pushing in towards your deployment zone, and then you can move up and counter attack with the Landraider. But usually it's stealthy and operating at the back, and so therefore I have it with the Nurgle Mark of Chaos. I can then tap into Festering Miasma to make the thing disappear. It's a very cool theme when a Landraider just can't be shot at unless you're in range 18, and that's really fits in well if you're anchoring at the back and holding back, the rest of the army is pushing forwards. There is that gap, and if you can keep the opponent over 18 inches away, you can literally make the Landraider disappear, which is tactically really useful. It's only a CP to do it. 240 points for the Landraider. It is expensive. I'm tempted to get a second one. The list will look very cool with a second one of these. This is taking a regular Space Marine Landraider, or even a Chaos Space Marine Landraider. I don't think it matters which one. And then you can see the Alpha Legion scheme on this one. That's a 3D print upgrade. And that you can get a hold of from Icarus Pattern, they're called. You'll find them on Instagram. They have a website as well. They're shipping worldwide. The idea is you buy the kit, the regular kit, and then you buy the upgrade pack and then combine the two together. This one for the Alpha Legion is fantastic, like really, really good. Don't think I would have got a Landraider without it. Didn't want to paint a standard Landraider, but now there's a themed one. It just sits fantastic in the army, so really glad to have that in the list. And you get a hold of your own one of those. He does upgrade kits for all different types of Landraiders, Chaos and Imperial. He also does them for other vehicles, such as Vindicators. So you get like a Khorne style Rhino or a Khorne style Landraider. Vindicators, they look excellent as well for the different Chaos Legions, for the Space Marines also, and there's different projects on the way from them. So that's Icarus Pattern. You can check them out and find them on Instagram, and they have a website for them as well. So we've got a Landraider with a Warpsmith anchoring at the back, perhaps hanging around the home objective. Don't have to, but at the back of the board, lending decent firepower support for sure. The Lord Discordant with his sort of flexible role. He can hang around at the back, push up aggressively, or to try and preserve him. A number of games I've flanked with him, kept him off the table and just brought him on as a reserve. Another option for him, the Lord Discordant. So far, we're not gaining the middle ground. We need more strength, more units to do that. So, well, this next card that's come up. One way is by Deep Strike. So I've got 2 squads of Terminators. 2 squads of 5. Nearly always automatically put them into reserve to arrive by Deep Strike. It's quite a heavy points investment. They're 180 points per unit, so they are expensive enough. But Terminators are tough now. Toughness 5, 3 wounds, 4+ invulnerable save, 2 up save base. It's hard work to get rid of them entirely. And they're okay. They're in the fight for the long war, the long grind. I don't expect them to land and shoot or to charge and fight in close combat to have too much impact. They'll do okay, and they'll grind away against targets for sure, but they're not my best shock troops. But they do have durability and that stickability, that ability to survive from one turn to the next. Especially useful for dropping into enemy territory, for landing on objectives to really anchor it in and to maintain control over it. And I just keep 2 squads of those in my back pocket during a game, not literally, but like just to have them as an asset. And then as you need them, I just drop them in to reinforce or to threaten to pretty much anywhere on the board, just over 9 inches away from the opponent. So they're a very, very useful asset indeed. I really like the way they look. One of my favourite units as well, painted up for Alpha Legion. The ones that you see that Games Workshop are painted up, the Heavy Metal team, that's a beautiful paint job they've done. I was always inspired by that, but that's those. Using the same process for the Terminators, but they're really nice models. So those are in 180 points time. So if I'm able to grab central objectives to reinforce central objectives, then I'll drop the Terminators in, or I might use them to exploit gaps in the enemy lines at different points during the game. We're still not really grabbing No Man's Land as yet. Okay, so we'll go to add one of my favourite vehicle sculpts for Chaos, Venomcrawlers. Again, for the theme of the army, I really didn't want to go down the route of painting Space Marine vehicles as Alpha Legion vehicles. I really didn't want to go down the route of painting Space Marine vehicles as Alpha Legion vehicles. I really wanted unique Chaos type units. And so you've got the Venomcrawlers, which are unique to Chaos Space Marines. They don't feature too much or at all on the channel, so there was that gap there, and so I went for 1, 2, 3 Venomcrawlers. They're a brilliant sculpt. I really like them. I think it turned out well, and the pink on the tongue just is a brilliant contrast. I think it's the appropriate colour actually for the colour scheme for the Alpha Legion as well. They turned out real nice. Very happy with them. Same painting process as the infantry. 3 of those. They are cheap. They're 120 points time. It's not very expensive at all. Their firepower, a big fan of. The Excruciator cannons. Get a nice lot of shots. 6 shots each. Get 2 of them. So 12 shots. Been kicked out by these. I do go Chaos Undivided. So rerolling my 1s. And I can choose lethal or sustained hits depending on the target. AP -1, which isn't much. And then damage 2. But the volume of shots coming through is really, really good. Nice reliable firepower. There is no -1 to them because their wound count is low enough, 9 wounds. They're OC of 3. 3 up save, which is great. They've actually got 5+ invulnerable saves, so they can shrug some of the heaviest firepower coming through. Toughness 9 and a 12-inch move. They scuttle nice and quickly across the battlefield. They are vehicles, so they can do tank shock, which is useful at times just to add in some mortal wounds against the target. And these will make us steady, not a headlong banzai charge, but a steady push up towards central objectives for sure. Laying down a blanket of firepower, not exposing themselves too much because they're not the toughest of vehicles, but certainly using them aggressively with firepower. And a little bit of close combat, 6 attacks, need 3s, strength 6 -2, 2 damage. So again, they're not a unit that's going to utterly wipe out and sledgehammer enemy units, but they are there for the grind. Good supporting unit for sure as other units push forwards towards the central objective. I really rate them. Subscriber suggested to be sensible with them, not let them die in the early turns, but try and keep them alive, keep their firepower coming from the back lines and then push up later on. That seems to work really well. Their firepower is valuable enough if you can get it from one turn to the next consistently. So Venomcrawlers are in, very glad to have them in. They bulk the army out quite nicely, quite cheap. Yeah, I'll mention Chaos Cultists next, squad of 10. Not Traitor Guard, but Cultists, nice and cheap, 50 points. I give them the Mark of Nurgle. Again, I can make them disappear at the back. They're there to screen the Landraider, perform actions instead of having to use another unit, to block out the back line, stop enemy deep strikers from getting too close to other units, such as the Landraider. So they're for menial tasks, nice and cheap. Horde unit there with the Cultists. If I had lots of spare points, I'd probably get a second squad, perhaps flank with them or screen out other areas of the battlefield. Next up is, we'll go Havocs. So, and at the end of this video, I'm going to suggest an alternate list, and you can let us know what you think in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you actually on that one, because I'm at the verge of doing it, but I'd love to hear feedback, what people think of the proposal. It involves dropping a couple of units, adding something in. So Havocs, I have 2 squads of 5, and they're quite extreme in the loadout. So there's a squad of 5 here. The squad leader's got a plasma gun and a power fist, and then it's a las cannon team. So there's 4 las cannons in that squad. They're going to go for Mark of Nurgle. Now with Nurgle, if you pass your Dark Pact with those and you choose to go for sustained hits, you get sustained hits of 5 pluses. So 5s to hit is sustained hits of 1, so an extra attack, extra hit comes through. I'll do that with the Landraider and this team. It means that I've got 4 and 4, got 8 las cannon shots. 4 of them coming at 2s, these at 3s, which I don't think can be modified because of their special rules for Havocs. And then that's really good reliable firepower coming through with those. I think 4 las cannons currently will struggle to totally destroy enemy vehicles, but 8 las cannons, much better chance. You're sort of doubling up your chances of that going through. So Mark of Nurgle on those as well. That means they can go inside the Landraider because the mark keywords have to match up with each other, otherwise you're not allowed to go inside and share transport vehicles. So anti-tank to give a bit more impact with the Landraider at the back. There's a second squad here. Now I've given those, in contrast, a melter gun on the squad leader, and then the Reaper Chain Cannon, which is anti-horde. So range 24, 8 shots, 3 hits, strength 5, AP 0, 1 damage. 8 shots, that's alright. 2 of them gives you 16, 4 of them gives you 32 shots. A lot of shots from 4 models. And then I've tried different marks with those. They are quite a good ambush unit, and I have been flanking with them, which has worked out quite well. Just that I can turn up in full strength and lay down a firepower against the target of my choice. And so because they're not needing to go inside the Landraider, I'm free to choose different marks, and currently I've been going for Chaos Undivided, because if you pass your Dark Pact with them, you're going to get like 3s to hit, unmodified, go for like sustained or lethal depending on the target, and then reroll 1s just really helps keep that reliable firepower coming through with them. Havoc's cheap enough as well. I think they're a very reasonable priced unit. They're 125 points per unit, and it gives me a nice bit of anti-tank and a nice bit of anti-Dakka, anti-hordes, anti-light infantry with those. And at the moment I've been flanking with them as a surprise ambush type unit. So as much of the army, what we have so far then is a Landraider operating at the back. Shadowbane I've called it, that's the name for that Landraider. To support it, las cannon team, and also a Warpsmith and some Cultists. That's my back lines. Then we're going for central objectives. We have Terminators that can drop in. I get to choose where they land. It's like trying to keep the initiative and the element of surprise. Also flanking with another Havoc squad. And then as the opportunity comes up, pushing forwards and taking the No Man's Land objectives with Venomcrawlers. Also Lord Discordant to help with that. But the main combo for pushing to the No Man's Land objectives, and by using brute force through close combat, is the Chaos Chosen and the double Chaos Lord combo, which is one of my favourite, most exciting elements of this Chaos Force. But as I said, do stay tuned. I'm going to talk about an alternate combination with those. So for transportation of a Rhino, and there's a lot of fun doing this project. I think Mike donated the Rhino actually, so big shout out to Mike. There it is. See, it's an Ultramarines Rhino. But then as you turn it, you can see that the driver has been stabbed through the chest, but it transitions over into its true identity here, which is the Alpha Legion Rhino. And it's got all the marks of war on it, so the bullet holes, it's been smashed up, a collection of heads. Well, I don't know if James has noticed one of his guardsmen has gone missing, so I've strapped him to the back. Then these chains as well, and then built like a cage on the back. Davy Jones's locker, we call it, but it's like the idea is like a bone collector, it's a body collector, it moves around slowly at the end of a battle and they collect the bodies, the slain, and throw them all into the back of this cage. So it's a corrupted Rhino. And you can imagine this thing drives towards the Ultramarines or in any Imperial force, and they think, oh, it's Ultramarines, it's friendly, and then by the time they figure out it's actually Alpha Legion, it's too late, the trap has been sprung. So that's kind of the idea going on with the Rhino. Good fun to do that project. So that acts as a transport vehicle. It can transport 12, I hope it can. Yeah, 12 Heretic Astartes infantry. It's a very cheap and quick way, or a cheap way of transporting units around the table. It is vulnerable though, it gets shot to pieces, is the problem, especially when it's painted up like that. It really does annoy James. So Chaos Rhino is a mere 75 points for that. And the idea is it transports my Chaos Chosen. Chaos Lord. What was Chaos Lord, now Chaos Lords. I've got 2 of them. So, Chaos Chosen, I was running a full squad of 10 with a Chaos Lord, but I often found they were doing a lot of overkill. They were hitting a target and then just easily breezing through it. And the opponent reacts and then try and knock them down. I was thinking there's a missed opportunity there. What if I split them into 2 squads of 5? And then I've got 2 opportunities. If there really is a super tough target, say an Imperial Knight, I could just send both squads in, take it on. Or, and is often the case, there are 2 opportunities to go after. And if I have the separate squads, I can send 5 of the Chaos Lord in one direction, and then 5 of another Chaos Lord in another direction, and go for 2 strikes instead of 1. And so far, I think it's worked really well. So what I have done then is split the Chaos Chosen down into 2 squads. It doesn't cost you any extra to do that, I believe. So Chaos Chosen, squad of 5 is 125 points. You are getting a surprising amount of wounds. They're 3 wounds each. There's actually 15 wounds in that squad. 3 up save, no inv1 with them. But the idea is they're moved around, transported and protected inside the Rhino, and then they burst out of the Rhino and assault from range, because you can disembark 3, move 6, so that's 9 inches plus your charge. But then on top of that, it says here, Chosen Marauders, this unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced or fell back. It's brilliant tactical flexibility with them. I can advance, you're going to go a minimum of 10, potentially 15 inches, and then charge. So that really is the speedy element of surprise ambush option with them. So usually you'll see the Rhino push up the board, get into position, somewhere it can survive, and then out of that transport bursts the Chaos Chosen on the following turns when the time is right. And Chaos Chosen are well equipped, and we'll talk about how they push forwards and so on in the deployment tactics video. With them, accursed weapons are great, getting like 4 attacks. One of them will take the paired accursed weapons, which is 5 attacks, 3 sit, strength 5, -2, 1 damage. The accursed weapons are okay. The power fists I max out on those. And I think you can take, well, let's have a look. Yeah. Power fist every 2. For every 5 models, 1 model equipped with a bolt can have its accursed weapon replaced with a power fist. Yeah. So I take and paired accursed weapon. Yes. Each squad can take 1 power fist. You're actually going to get 4 attacks though of that. Going to take the paired accursed weapons and the rest equipped with regular accursed weapons. So they're very good at chewing through most targets. Light infantry, they will slash their way through. Medium infantry, they'll do the same. Heavy infantry, they can just hit them with so many wounds, you overwhelm the target. So even though much of my attacks with the Chosen squad at least is damage 1, just the volume of attacks coming through. I do go for Chaos Undivided, so I get reroll 1s and all of their attacks, both for shooting and close combat. Their shooting's not too bad. There's a couple of plasma pistols in the squad. There's also a couple of combi weapons as well for those devastating wounds against infantry. Combi weapon. And remember, you can advance and charge off, fall back and still shoot with those weapons, which is excellent. They've got grenades as well, so you can combine a bit of firepower with them to actually be quite effective. So again, you can disembark, shoot at something, charge something else. And you can do that twice over by taking the double Lord and Chosen combo. So they're all right. They're good. They are good. But to really make them dangerous, I put a Chaos Lord in each of those squads. They're Chaos Undivided, by the way. So I can then play Profane Zeal, where I can reroll the wound roll, and that's what can make them into very, very dangerous in close combat. But put the Chaos Lord with them. Each Chaos Lord is 90 points with no upgrades currently for either of those. But the sort of built-in rules for them are actually really good. 5 wounds, 3 up save, 4+ invulnerable save, movement 6. He'll keep up with the unit and so on, no problem. He's got a Plasma Pistol for an extra bit of shooting. And then I give both of them Demon Hammers. So 5 attacks with devastating wounds. Yeah, I'm going to point out a stratagem in that. So you've got built-in devastating wounds, 5 attacks, 3s to hit, strength 8 -2 damage. If you play Profane Zeal, which you can use his ability to 0 CP at -1 off the cost to actually get it for free because of the Chaos Lord. You're then going to be rerolling your wound rolls, which is really good, especially if you're hunting for devastating wounds against enemy target. So yeah, as mentioned, you get to -1 off of a stratagem, -1 off of a stratagem cost, such as Profane Zeal. And then once per game, you can activate Chance per Glory. I've got 2, so there's 2 opportunities to do it during the game. Once we're back at the start of the fight phase, this model can use this ability. So for what I'm reading here, because I was going to ask, it doesn't say one model from your army with this ability, it says this model can. So I think you could use Chance for Glory twice in the same battle round by the looks of it. If it does use the ability until the end of the phase, improve the attacks, strength, armor, penetration and damage characteristic of melee weapons equipped by this model by 1. So he will go to 6 attacks of 5, strength 9, AP -3, and 3 damage with his hammer. And if you switch on your reroll wounds, you've now got yourself a cheaper character that's kicking out some dangerous attacks coming through. And I found that him plus his bodyguard is a danger against a lot of targets. So you'll usually see them driving up towards the middle of the board and then pushing out some dangerous attacks. And usually the idea is to try and clear enemy units, major threats out of the way, or clear enemy units off of objectives as the rest of the army pushes forwards. They are a key unit for sure. And yeah, I was going to mention a stratagem. Eye of the Gods is good if you destroy a unit. It's a character unit from your army. It doesn't have to be any of the marks, it could be any unit. You get to the end of the battle, add 1 to the move, toughness, and wounds characteristic of the character model, which is great. But then also you get +1 attacks, strength and damage for his melee weapons. So you really could go for, if you combine it with Chance for Glory, you get damage 4, devastating wound hammer on each of those. Nice. So yeah, it does mean holding on and being careful when to use Chance for Glory. It may not be the first fight you get into, it could be perhaps the later one. So the Chaos Lord, Chaos Chosen combo has proved deadly enough if you're able to guide them into close combat at full strength. So that's the list. Hopefully that gives you an idea of the reason for all of the choices. To really see the army in action, check out the regular battle reports, especially the most recent ones. It's going to have the list that's the closest to this, if not this actual list. And then also check out the deployment tactics video. It'll be a shorter video. It'll go straight into deployment, showing you how to deploy each of the units on the board, what goes into reserve, who flanks, where to deploy, who deploys first. All those kind of questions are answered in that video. So at the end here, I had mentioned about changing the list around. I am conscious, as much as I like the Rhino, I'm conscious that it is not very tough. What I proposed, see, I'm not keen on dropping any of these units, I like them all, but if I did drop the Rhino, that's going to free up 75 points. And if I dropped the a Terminator squad, I'm pained to do it, I'd have enough points, 180, 75. I'd have enough points to spare to get a second Landraider. that second Landraider, again, it'd be the same loadout as that one. Could play it more aggressive. I'll just replace the Rhino. So that Landraider would be Chaos Undivided. Nice reliable firepower. The Warpsmith can hang around whichever one he wants to during the game. But now I've got myself another 4 lascan shots. I've now got a very, very tough vehicle that can do tank shock, decent firepower. Got the assault ramp, which would be even better for the 2 Chaos Chosen units, and both those squads will fit in there, no problem at all. And the Dakar Havocs could probably fit in there as well, just with the transport capacity for a second Landraider. 2 of them would look very, very cool. So there's that option. I wouldn't mind having a second Landraider, it'd be quite a nice theme. Another option is to drop the Rhino, drop a Venomcrawler. That's 185. No, 195. 195. So close. I really don't want to drop the second Chaos. So this is what my mind's tuned through, so you can help me. Let me know what you think in the comments section below about getting a second Landraider into the list. Whether it's worth doing it, I think it's a stronger idea. But by all means, let us know what you think in the comments section below. So that's it. That's the video for the Alpha Legion. Do check out the battle reports. Check out the painted tutorial for the terrain, which matches Chaos Space Marines really well. It's gamemat.eu, links below for the battle mat and terrain from them. Don't forget to use that discount code for 11% off across the store. And as mentioned, this is a collaborative project. If you want to get deeper involved in the community, and it's been a really rewarding part of the channel in recent years, then come over and join us at Phoenix Sword level. You're welcome to join up with us with the other Phoenix Lords and get more involved, and hopefully a rewarding experience for you here on SS82. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.